Hello, Happy New Year, and welcome to another long overdue episode of Let's Play Realism Invictus. This is the Ashared Head. As I had said previously, I had some major complications getting the last video up. I think it has to do with the uncompressed file format of my recording. I'm using Fraps, which hasn't been supported in over a decade now, I think, or nearly a decade. But when I've attempted to use OBS, which I think is kind of standard for Let's Plays, it just doesn't work whatsoever. Whether by miracle or not, my laptop that I'm using currently does not have an actual GPU, and yet this game runs relatively well. It gets a little bit slow towards the late game, but nothing really disruptive, at least for my tastes. But suffice that to say that working with what I am and not really knowing a better alternative, I'm going to keep this one a little bit shorter. It seriously took me, I don't know, several weeks of attempting to upload the previous one, and YouTube would just fail the upload, but they take several hours, so what I ended up having to do was continuously refreshing the page, or actually just moving the screen, not refreshing it. And somehow that seems to have made the difference in keeping the upload progress going. But I do feel a bit guilty for the delay on this. I know it's been quite a while. I looked at this the date on this save, and it's already been a few months. But I am doing this on my terms. It's for fun. I want to really share how great of a mod this is with anyone who might be interested. But and I will follow through with getting it done. But sometimes, other priorities I'm going to value more, but rest assured I have not forgotten. So, anyway, and I'm not sure if I had said, I started to do a take previously and then scrapped it and started over. Speaking of the grunt there, I'm recovering from a cold right now, so bear with me if you would. I'm going to sound a little bit congested, I'm sure, and maybe a little bit more foggy-minded than normal, but nothing that will prevent me from being able to play. Yesterday I did not feel very good, so, but having slept quite a bit made quite the difference. Anyway, yeah, so I remember remarking at the end of the last video that by coincidence, not intention, we had ended at 1 AD, which is kind of a typical bookend date for the beginning of the mid-game. In this mod, I don't think it's, well, I don't know if it's really the mid-game. That's going to vary from situation to situation, and depending on how intent the player or one of the AIs is on domination, because those tend to come to fruition earlier, but I think 180 is still probably the early game, but it's a nice, neat bookend date to kind of get a snapshot of where your progress is. And we were underway with conquering the Aztecs. I know we got a rather high degree of experience with a lot of these units that didn't die, and we were fighting with our levies. I think the Aztec UU gets a bonus against melee, so we'll have to bear that in mind. Yeah, and Walter had mentioned, I can't believe I didn't notice this, but this little bar here, yeah, it has to load the art assets or something. The Civilopedia takes forever to load, and then it's fast. But when I was confused about our unique units upgrade path, I had used this many times, but typically in fact, I never noticed the civilization tab, and I don't even know when this was added, to be honest. But with like the upgrade chart, this is actually very helpful because you can schematically see each civ's units that are individual to them. And then you have tooltips explaining how they're unique. Previously, I had always done like current game, or I would go to the civ chart here and then go like playable Aztecs, and I would kind of mouse around till I find it here. And this is nice that they're all listed, but obviously they're scrunched together and not neatly laid out in an upgrade chart, as you see here. But the Aztecs, I think their unique unit has, well, really, I guess maybe their distinctive units have melee bonuses. I know ours does, which would probably outweigh it anyway. Yeah, a slight one, and I don't think he has iron anyway. Yeah, I wonder if this is a balanced decision. I'm curious why this requires iron when the historical weapon, the Makana, just used flinted obsidian. And actually, even beyond the sword, the unmodded expansion for the base game, um, the Aztec Jaguar Warrior didn't require that. And so it doesn't here. I guess it's just a balance thing to keep them from getting too overpowered, but anyway, I digress. And yes, this does have a bonus against melee. Just bear that in mind. He's got one here, for instance. Um, I remember he also sent a large army down here, and then the Scandinavians picked him off. Yeah, they sent a big stack here. They didn't take the city, but they really damaged that army, reduced it to a couple units. Then we took these, and he can't be building them that fast. Um, but anyway, I intend to go ahead and finish him off here. But before I do that, I'm going to go over all my cities and just look at everything we're doing. Okay, yeah, building the Iliad here. Yeah, I did play a single player game that I finished a few days ago on Monarch, and I won Domination, which is pretty cool. I haven't won Domination in RI yet. Typically do time or space victories. And with Separatism, that was actually pretty fun because that makes it significantly harder. Typically, you would, in the unmodded game, you would just, once you get to a dominant position, you just really snowball. There's not really a check to your further expansion, but the growing weight of your empire increasingly threatens implosion if you don't play carefully. And I tried a few different strategies in that playthrough, which I didn't read about them or anything. I just thought, wait a minute, I could do this, and it would, result in this outcome, and let's see how that works. And it seemed to have done quite well. So I won't go into detail on all that, but I did just want to say that I guess I'm coming off the high of a victory in single player, so hopefully that will carry over here. Okay. And we do have a little bit of war weariness, it looks like. Only 4%, but that's enough to register. There's a pretty high base level of war weariness, which I think scales with map size, but on standard, if they didn't change this in the mod, it should be 200. And then that subtracted from your population subtracted from that, that difference then becomes the function that results in unhappiness from war weariness. And so I like that because it means there isn't really war weariness in the ancient world, which seems relatively, historically plausible. But as you expand and your population increases, you're going to start bumping that ceiling. And then later in the game, when you have, more effective civics like democracy and free market, they increase it further, and so it becomes more and more of a domestic challenge. But anyway, that's why we're unhappy. Otherwise, we wouldn't be. I'm going to check real quick and make sure none of these, yeah, my newly conquered cities didn't have those selected. If you don't have this, they'll outgrow their happy cap, and then you can't whip them back down like in the base game. So it's pretty much always a good idea to have this selected. It'd be nice if it was on by default, but it's really easily done otherwise. Ooh, nice. I'm almost tempted to go for that. I built this in my previous game. Paired with the Iliad, that would be pretty cool. 2 extra XP until the late medieval age, basically. And unlike the Iliad, which is a national wonder, you just build it when you meet the requirements and you choose to build it. This is a wonder, so whoever gets it first will take it off the table for everyone else. I'll come back to that once the Iliad's done here. But yeah, something doesn't seem right. We are in slavery still. These farms seem like they should have... No, 4 food's right. It's earlier than, I guess, my inclinations were supposing. Okay, that's good for now. Actually, is a priest better? No. No. Okay. Yeah, really, craftsmen, if you don't have a religion or running one of the religious civics that significantly bolster priests, they're not usually worth their while in terms of the food price you pay to run one. So that's fine. Harbor. Yeah, they're stagnant here. I need to get some workers over here, and I have some captured slaves. I don't think we're going to need them down here for anything. They build improvements slowly, but I've got 3 of them. So these farms can spread irrigation, and in the meantime I can switch to this one, because this is below its happy cap quite a bit. So I'll get rid of this spy for now too. Work that same forest, that way we can keep growing. By the time we get to pop 9, I'll have more farms. Yeah, it really is unfortunate that I thought this was a cool spot, but it's really not that good of a spot. It's really food poor. There's not a single food bonus here. So my decision to cottage this was also pretty suboptimal. We've already paid the sunk cost, so changing it to a farm I don't think would really pay off. Ever so slowly we're growing here, and this is irrigated. But yeah, because of this desert, I'll have to conquer this land and irrigate from here to get this land basically subsistence, more than subsistence, to get it to generate more than subsistence outputs of food. I'll stick with this composite bow, and then I'll probably station it here once it's done because of the... This is only 0 or 1 to 10%. Separatism is only the chance that it would join a revolt that triggers elsewhere. And actually, I've seen that happen, geographically speaking, really, really far away from the city that actually did revolt. I'd be curious to know what the distance threshold is on that, but suffice it to say, unless I have 10% or above revolt risk elsewhere, this is really just a cautionary thing. It's not actually 3% chance of revolting on its own. This is enough turns, I'll wait. This one's also got plenty of room to grow. But I wouldn't want to jump the gun on this granary. Well, actually, it'd still get done first. Yeah. That's an expensive build, but I think it'll pay off in the long run. This is just crazy. Not sure walls was a good choice, but we're halfway done, so I'll follow through with it. Definitely want to heal in our territory before proceeding, because you heal 3 times slower in enemy land. Well, relative to your own city. It's, actually, I think the better way to phrase that would be you heal at the normal rate, which I believe is, well, okay, no. You heal 10% of the unit's full strength in neutral territory per turn that you're healing, 20% in yours, 30% in your cities, and I believe it's 5% in enemy land, so correct me if I have that wrong. In fact, let's just see here. This should be 1 turn, yeah, because it's only 0.2. And we don't see? Okay, so 0.7. Yeah, that would be over 20% though. We don't have any healing reductions from an overstack so far. Yeah, so this flanking line's really interesting. Whether to go blitz, mobility, commando, morale, and speed, all of these are really nice. The problem is, if you rely on your withdrawal chance, um, you still take damage when you withdraw, and so your ability to fight again is reduced. I like blitz on charge mounted heavy cavalry. This is charge mounted, but it's light cavalry. So blitz or yeah, blitz is even further applicable to heavy cavalry because it inflicts collateral damage. And so if you attack multiple times per turn, you're inflicting multiples of that collateral. So I like the speed on the light cavalry, but I'm actually going to go ahead and make him a little bit stronger. We already have tactics and then the 3 flankings, so technically this has a 90% withdrawal chance, so it should be really safe, but I want it to be able to fight a little better. Now, one of his cities is on a hill. If both were, I would go the guerrilla line, because that's offensively and defensively advantageous. I'm kind of a fan of combat over City Raider if you're fighting with smaller, dwindled numbers like this, because if you have a bunch of glass cannon City Raider units, you're too vulnerable to counterattack. Also, stack diversity. We have a guerrilla here. Remember, I promoted a couple when we were taking Tenochtitlan. So if I have a couple guerrillas, one is probably fine, honestly, and we'll just attack last with him. Yeah, we don't really need woodsmen because we'll come in through here. Well, no, I'll come in through here for the defensive bonus, unless he has some Aztec skirmisher that would make that a bad idea. But combat's still the way I'm going to go. Okay, another general. Oh yeah, that's right, I forgot. Alrighty. Are there any doctrines or traditions that I want? We already have Alexander the Great. Who better could we have lead a unit? From the vantage of role-playing, at least. Assigning him a nominal equal would be an offense, surely. Fire ships, which historically is Greek, but I don't see this map as enough of a naval game for that to be a good idea. They also have medics, so if you just put them in a stack, they'll heal units faster. I guess I'll do that for now, since we don't have a immediate use case for him otherwise. Okay, and then research. Let me check on that. I think I was going for schools. Merchant families is really nice, but having gone wide, the school is a fairly cheap building that provides you with flat rate. Well, it's not even a rate. It gives you flat output on its own. 2 research per city will be quite nice. And whenever you have an expansion phase, it's situationally dependent, of course, but typically a good idea to have a kind of consolidation phase where you grow vertically for a while. Because every city you conquer slows your tech in the short run, drains your finances, thins out your military, so you don't want to just overextend. I really am sorry for the sniffling. I felt bad that it had been so long, and I really do have the solitude and the leisure both to do this now, so I thought I would. 38 turns. We're bumping the fence of... I can't remember if we just entered this tech era, because paper is a medieval tech, so yeah, we're still in the classical uh, tech modifier, I guess. But I don't need elephant taming. We already have all the classical texts that we really need. We're not running a religion, so theology wouldn't really... In fact, it would be strictly... Oh, we're running solar cult. Yeah, that's right. So actually, maybe theology would be good, because it's going to obsolete our pagan temples, and we built Stonehenge. So that's going to reduce a happiness, so there's that to bear in mind. We don't have a great prophet, so no. If you get the Holy Palace built, theology, might be worth it, but that's not really what we're doing right now. Yeah, military engineering. We could get proper medieval units. But no, in the spirit of reconsolidating, I think paper is the best choice for now. Um, then algebra geometry. I think we're quite ahead of everyone tech-wise. Yeah, astronomically. Okay. And I don't plan to attack anyone yet with medieval swordsmen, and I think we're relatively defensible. Um, it would behoove me to get some defensive armies built up soon, but once I've finished the Iliad, I think that's what I'll be doing with Athens production. And then lastly, if I didn't say that about research, just glance at the diplomacy. Scandinavia is still at war with the Aztecs. The Inca and the Chinese are at war. That's an important detail because that should keep both of them from invading me, or at least make that less likely. And yeah, the Persians attacked me with that one stack. I think that was just kind of a weird suicide move. Um, I'll see him come in if he's going to try to land something amphibious, and I can move these ships across. Albeit maybe not in time. I'm fine with where they are. It's okay. I think I could defend where I am. Oh yeah, I've got an engineer and a scientist. Right, that might have been my reasoning for paper too, because that'll unlock the medieval great works, which will be nice. Because Athens is outputting a pretty good amount of science for this era. 84 beakers per turn in 1 AD it's not amazing, but it's pretty solid. Okay, and with that, we can end our turn. Yeah, he's got separatism risk here. There was, for those of you who didn't know, a small 3.61 update that released around Christmas, and mostly cosmetic. The city bar got kind of a nice, refreshing reskin, and the two main mechanical changes, though. Oh, and then also these resource counters, and then the unit buttons like this. They got their resolution upscaled because that looks a little bit granular, and so it looks a little bit more clean and polished on the screen, and I like it. But the two main mechanical changes that I think are pretty interesting, one of them I actually suggested on the forum about a little over a year ago, is, and I'm probably not the first person to have done it, but he thought this was a pretty sensible idea, is the holy city wealth that you get for having the holy city of that religion, and I think specifically the holy palace, previously was just a fixed amount of gold, which is nice and it was still impactful, but it didn't scale with the world prevalence of that religion, and now it does. In Vanilla Beyond the Sword, of course, so this isn't really my idea conceptually, because in Vanilla Beyond the Sword, you got 1 gold for every city following that religion, which basically enabled you to accrue obscene amounts of wealth for having the holy palace of that religion. But now it is a function of the percentage of the world that follows it. And I don't know what the specific numbers are, but I think that's kind of cool. Because now you have the incentive diplomatically to spread your religion. And hopefully the AI understands that as well and seeks to act accordingly. And then the other one that's pretty cool is several of these civics enable each of the specialists ad infinitum. So, like free market, you can have unlimited merchants. With free religion, you can get unlimited scientists. Well, now Cult of Personality gives you unlimited. Well, I was like, why am I not seeing it? Because I had switched back to 3.60 for the Let's Play, but Cult of Personality now gives you unlimited spies, or informants as they were renamed to avoid a name conflict in the pedia. But espionage being more important with separatism in this mod is, or rather prior to this change, was comparatively scarce, because you get 1 spy slot for a courthouse and 2 from a jail in the Renaissance, but it's kind of hard to come by. You can run the espionage slider and your commerce will be converted, but this also allows you to run an early espionage strategy, which could be interesting because the Shvadagan Paya, or however you pronounce it, unlocks all the religious civics. And quite aptly, Cult of Personality is a religious civic. And so you can actually get this early in the game, lock it down before you get religion spread, and then run like a spy economy. So that's another cool thing I'd like to try somewhat soon. Okay, I'll go ahead and double down on the gorilla for that guy. Weirdly, these are actually fairly powerful units right now. Combat 2 levies and 480. I mean, if we really went hard for military engineering and got these, I mean, against melee they'd be pretty significantly better, but in general that's just a 1 strength difference. So, and that's something we're not even close to in spite of our really large tech lead. Okay, Alexander, alrighty. Yeah, I gave him several city raiders. I think that's enough on those, like, even as it is with her damage state. Well, should I specialize him further? Maybe plus 30 and a first strike. Yeah, the marginal value of that is much greater than most of these other options. Withdrawal or tactics is a good one too, but like I said in the previous video, I don't think Alexander smiles at the notion of something that helps you run away, so I'll go City Raider 4. That extra first strike is pretty nice. I'll use levies to garrison the cities once we take them. Okay. Okay, now the Koreans attacked the Persians. We've got a lot of wars going on separately. I will be back in just a moment. I do need to blow my nose. Okay. Yeah, we'll let them heal, and then I guess I'll let that general get up in the stack. I don't want him to get intercepted once we enter the enemy land. Alright. Yay, another jungle cleared. I wonder why he's rerouting some of his forces. Oh right, yeah, we were exploring with this slave. See what the Scandinavians have going on down here. Okay, I'll clear these slash and burns last. Well, actually that would be now. I was going to say the epidemic chance only applies within that city's big fat cross, but with the exception of the ones that are being worked on now, which that one's going to take forever, but we're not lacking for food, so that's fine. With the exception of those, we're down to our slash and burns, so let's clear those. Nice proper terraforming of that little area. Okay, slaves. They're upset that they're not getting their hearts torn out anymore. Yeah, right next to my general, how ironic. And it is a 6 strength levy. So we could lose this, but it's fully fortified on a hill with garrison 1. It could happen. We're already building a composite bow, so it's not like I didn't do anything about the possibility, but it's reasonable enough that we'll survive that. Even if we lose the city, it's not for playing poorly. Oh no, that's the Aztec army. Yeah, they're gonna capture my slave. Whoops. Oh well. Alright, you guys finally made it here. Build a slave farm. Don't you like this more temperate climate up here? This nasty jungle. Which at least the game gave them kind of Civ appropriate topography and climate. Doesn't always happen that way. Yeah. He was destroyed though, he wasn't recaptured. Not that that makes really a big difference. Okay, cool. Hopefully next time that happens we'll have the archer. I think those odds had to have been pretty bad. Yeah, 1.4%. If you played this game more than a little bit though, seeing that is still kind of scary. It totally can happen, and probably every single game I lose a 99% or greater odd battle. In my favor, that is. I guess losing kind of makes that self-explanatory. Okay. Why did they put it? They must have farmed this before they saw the iron here. That was one reason we actually attacked, because we didn't have any iron elsewhere. And that is a very important strategic resource. Once we get windmills, this will be a little bit better. We can put 3, 4 here. Wait, is it? We should be able to build the cotton plantation. This should be with land tenure. Yeah, okay. Much like in the base game, these improvements come pretty late. Okay, I think everyone's all healed now, so let's resume the offensive. Walls maybe wasn't or weren't a bad choice. For now, I'm going to leave him here. I think 1 unit, that's asking to get the city retaken. And we're at 13, which is the final cap of logistics 2. Nice. Let's fake him out so he doesn't know which one we're going for. That's our guerrilla unit. That's the reason he can move again. Double movement on hills. We're not using the enemy roads, so... Okay, yeah, he's going back. I'll let him send his trinket forces down to Tenochtitlan. I think we'll be fine. I'm going to knock him out, and then I'll turn around and probably sack this city in the south so that it takes the cultural pressure off of that iron. It was a pretty poor location on its own, and we're not quite overextended. In fact, not really at all right now, but it's not a good idea to conquer a mediocre city that doesn't serve some immediate need. Okay, what does this city need, speaking of that? To grow. So grocer, I think, for the extra food, primarily. That really seems negligible, but it does speed up growth quite a bit. Because it's food that isn't coming from an input of food. Working a farm still requires the food of that citizen working the farm. But a building that gives you +1 just gives you +1 directly. Which is something to bear in mind. Do I want to go for his capital? No, I want to go for this one first. Oh, I forgot I have the offensive. Yeah, I was testing some combat, and so I turned this on for something I was doing and forgot to turn it back off. I like to be able to see what fights are happening, and when I'm doing them deliberately, of course, that's apparent. I don't want to leave 1 unit hanging. Wow, that's really cool town architecture. Really, that deserves praise, just that all of these cultures have their own distinct building styles. But anyway, yeah, if he sends that skirmisher back into the city, it'll have a strength reduction defending there. So I don't want to leave any unit away from the stack. Oh, wow, that's horrible. 94 turns for a slave to mine on a jungle hill. Because the jungle reduces improvement time. Slavery itself reduces improvement time. I wonder if that applies to slaves and workers. I think it does, probably. And the fact that it's a slave means it builds slower than a regular worker. So we're already up here, but I'll build this plantation, or so I'll build this plantation, but otherwise I might have sent him back to help with that. Once some of this jungle clearing's done, I'll probably send them down to assist. Slavery is interesting in this game, because has liabilities with the revolts, but capturing workers and slave farms having higher output, and then mines having higher output with slave markets is there's a good case to be made for it. But you have to play a little bit more carefully. Okay, does he have any hill attacking guys? Doesn't look like it. Unless the Jaguar does, and I think it probably does actually. Nope. Doesn't even start with Gorilla, it starts with Woodsman. It's something I'm never fully clear on, the Mayans and the Aztecs, the jungle and hill bonuses, because like the central Mexico where the Aztecs historically hail from is both really. The Mayans not really, as far as I know. The Mayans are definitely a jungle civ, but I don't know if the Aztecs... I think they are to a more limited extent, but I still have to look it up. All that to say. Okay. Yep, walls will be done, and he's going to cross a river anyway if he attacks, so that's not going to be great. As we just looked up, he does have the Gorilla promotion, but natively he doesn't have a hill bonus. And hey, the Iliad's going to be done. Okay, he's going to go down here and attack the other one. I don't really care. I don't think he's taking that city. The archer... in fact... Yeah, we just finished that archer this turn, so yeah, one unit can't even. Okay. Thought about doing this. We're throwing food out the window to the tune of 7 right now. I wish I caught that earlier. Yeah, one hammer for a specialist isn't really worth it. Yeah, I'll go for it. Why not? Extra XP is nice. 2 catapults is not ideal, but whatever. We'll make use of it. No, that's not a good idea. He's probably just going to pillage with that guy. Yeah, we already have pretty good odds with our special unit without the walls taken down yet, but I'm definitely going to at least siege it down significantly more than that. No, you didn't pillage the road. Oh yeah, we can build paved roads, speaking of that. Don't want to trade away that limestone. God, scared me. It said they could join a revolt, and whenever you hear that. I just checked, it's still at 3%, but the slave revolt, which, given the low population of this city, means the likelihood of that is not very good. I think they can actually capture slaves, so I'm going to put these guys back for a second. Matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and do what I said earlier and send them down to the iron mines. Yeah, I tested it once and left them here, and they're programmed to just suicide attack the weakest nearby city. But if you leave workers or slaves out, they'll take them, which is sensible enough. Okay, he's going southwest. Probably going to try to reinforce that city. Yeah, definitely going to get it down to 0 before we fight. Yeah, we're next to him. Okay, another jungle cleared. he's going to reinforce. Yeah, crossing a river is 25% attack reduction. That was still scarily close. What the? Hang on, did I only have one defender here? Are you kidding me? Well, that's embarrassing, viewers. I'll take it right back, but we lost whatever buildings we had. Jeez. Don't mess with these 6 strength. Yeah, 1.7% odds and then almost the exact difference, 97.5. Okay, change of priorities. We are not a longbow civ, unfortunately, so our own city defense is going to be a little bit more of a challenge. Yeah, we get crossbows, which aren't bad, but I might switch to free commoners once. Well, no, this land's not the best food-wise on its own. I don't know, we'll cross that bridge later. It is kind of annoying that the rate, the percent chance that you will get slave or serf revolts is just a flat percentage of the number of cities you have, so the more expansive your empire is, the more annoying those will be. If you have a really big empire, it'll happen like every other turn, annoyingly. Wait. Okay, they just left it undefended. I wonder if that's scripted. If they take the city, then they disband. They might. Probably lost all of our buildings. Yeah, that's pretty annoying. We do keep our culture, though. If it had flipped to another civ, we lose our culture. Like in a revolution. That's pretty frustrating. Oh well. Oh wait, no, he just went south. He didn't disband. He's going to try that trick again, and it's almost certainly not going to work. Can't wait for him to move southwest again. There's not a road connection here. Well, there is there, so yeah. Until we're done fighting them, I think we'll have to leave this mine untapped. Are you kidding me? Are you going to pillage? They shouldn't be able to do that. Solar cult died out. Oh, Islam was founded, that's why. Ooh, that hit 2 of me. Wow, that was a powerful founding. Interesting mod feature, the religious... God, what is that called? There's a name, it's not coming to mind. I'm still sick, so I'm not at 100% right now. Actually, I should do something with these guys while we're waiting. Yeah, like a food crops plantation. Will this remove the jungle? Yes, okay. Okay, now their walls are down. Two composite bows. Not our gorilla guy. Our combat 2s first. Okay. One of them died on the first strike. Only one of them reduced the strength of the archer. Okay, alright. And then the half-strength composite bow should be negligible. I think Alexander can... Yeah. I almost just want to EXP farm with just him since he's out of... Well, his bow's going to heal. And it's going to be annoying and difficult once it's full strength again. It's always like by the skin of their teeth that they survive. Like you have a 90% chance to withdraw successfully, but then the unit takes forever to reheal. It's not always like that, but that happens often. Which is why I was saying I tend to assign Blitz to charge mounted. That's heavy cavalry that inflicts collateral damage, because that way you deal damage to them multiple units, even if your unit is going to be kind of taken out of commission by it. Okay, no, I'm not going to fight on low odds like that. It's kind of weird. I still have an active unit and it's telling me to end my turn. Okay. It's kind of weird too. Islam was founded, but I don't even see who did it. Persia, but they didn't adopt it. Weird. He stayed in Taoism. Everyone else lost their religion. Yeah, first strike Alexander. That's pretty cool. Yeah, what was the strength of that archer? 3.28, relatively close to its max, and we still had overwhelming odds. Let's see what's back here. Wasting one slave on it's fine for the intelligence. I like to cycle my siege so that if they tick up a little bit of their defenses, I remember to check for that and reduce them back down to 0. Yeah, I mean, I knew that would happen, but we could see he doesn't have enormous amounts of units in his other city. Yeah, case in point. An extra 2% is nice to have. Definitely not risking that. We'll probably get him promoted again by the time we take the city. Yeah, but if you don't attack at full strength, sometimes the amount of experience you gain is a lot more. So, like, I'll risk 3.19% odds of dying because I'm going to get 2 more XP points. When I attacked at 100%, it was only 2, 1 plus 1, because we have the leadership gaining double EXP from combat. But since the way that EXP acquisition works is the lower your odds, the higher your XP for winning. If you're just a notch below, like certain victory, you gain more XP, so I'll risk this. Another slave, we already know what's down there, so I guess I'll just keep him with our stack. We can do that again later. Okay. Did our war weariness tick up again? No. We were only +1 net unhappiness before. I'm not sure what changed. I saw that red and I was like, wow, didn't think we were... I know I starved it a little bit deliberately to build the Wonder, but I didn't think it was going to go down that fast. I had it set to not starve before the construction was complete. Do I want to feed you tech? You are... You're, I think, here. Yeah. Pretty low on the score. No, I don't think I need the trade either. Yeah, and he's out of archers, so I think my odds will be pretty good on this. Yeah, I don't really want to risk that one. I'm going to heal you one more turn. But yeah, that's better, because like I was just saying, if he's full strength, we'll gain less experience. Ah, I'm tired of that. Yeah, that's just about annoying enough where I think I'll switch out of slavery just to stop having to deal with that, especially when you're at war, which, for a game balancing reason, and makes plenty of sense. Like, you have to keep your internal empire stable. You can't just have your armies on the frontier. For now, actually, I'm going to do this. Yeah, that's just one unit, probably fine. Hey, it's... Oh, Tlacopan, not our capital. That was the scientist notification. I could snag 2 medieval works of science once we get paper in our 2 highest respective science earning cities, but then again, that's quite a difference just between 1 and 2, so I'll probably keep 1 in the bank and then just get 1 with the other. Yeah, I want to see if I can promote Alexander again before we wheel around and take the other. We're only 1 more combat away. I think he needs Siegecraft for City Raider 4, which we do already have. And I don't think it goes above City Raider 4. Okay. There is a City Raider 5, and that's the... Wait. No, it is 4, my bad. Man, I can't see. Yeah, okay, so we have him maxed out on City Raider. I'll probably do an extra movement or something. That's pretty nice when you can get your infantry an extra movement. Okay. Definitely not doing that. Okay, that's done. Build a paved road. Put these guys back for their stackade. Yeah, heal at least 1 more turn. I don't want 9 slaves, 6 strength slaves fighting me here, so... Well, it's going to happen regardless, but I need to be able to defend, so let's actually do this, and then finish the grocer. I should have thought of that a second ago. Same here. I'm going to continue the wonder, but... Okay. Greeks fighting, defeating the Persians at sea successfully. How historical. Yeah, Greeks versus Aztecs aren't really... It's not really historical, but Greeks versus Persians is, definitely. Yeah, pre-Renaissance sea combat is, or naval combat, mostly is a game of numbers and then individualization from promotions. And then if someone is a seafarer leader, that makes a huge difference. And then the other big variable is if someone has this doctrine founded, which is pretty nice, as you can see. But yeah, until you get into the Renaissance, the actual types of ships and the kind of dynamic relationships between them don't really emerge. It's still plenty fun early on, I think. Okay. Okay, he'll get promoted again, so now we'll finish off the city. Well, I don't really like that, but yeah, it took the strength down. I don't think we gained experience on that one, sadly. Ah, damn it. Yep, 89%. For some reason, that one, it's all psychological impression, I know, but that one seems to fail more often than not for whatever reason. Okay. Took that one. We have units that are exhausted, otherwise I'd move in, but we'll do that as a unit in the city and then heal up. Finish healing up there. In fact, these levies, they upgrade to gunpowder irregulars, I believe. If they had an upgrade to, like, a medieval melee unit, that would be pretty cool. It'd be expensive, because upgrading out of the irregular line is really expensive, but that would be nice given how much experience we've accrued with these guys. We could make them really formidable. Okay. Alrighty, what promotion do we want next? 14 overall strength is pretty attractive to me. It always, whenever I do this one, they just die anyway. I mean, I know it's all the irrational side of your mind and how you're viewing things that mathematically aren't coming from the numbers, but this is also pretty effective, because if he doesn't die, or if he doesn't win the combat, there's a almost 1/3 chance that he won't die, which is pretty nice. These are just the doctrines, I guess. That doesn't lead to anything, and it requires a general. I'm going to do guerrilla, actually. This last city's on a hill. Hills don't get leveled, forests get chopped for the most part. That's a useful promotion. Like I had said, offensively and defensively. Okay. And I think that's going to wrap it up for this one. Again, thank you for your patience, those of you who are following along. Next one, I intend to get out significantly sooner than this previous interval. But I hope I don't have any complications with the upload. I've kept it shorter than the last one, so I think something just pushed it over the edge on how long that was because of the uncompressed media file. But anyway, alright, I will see you in the next one. Thank you for watching. This is the Asharid Het, signing off.